Hello, everyone. Today we'll be pod and reviewing the week. Jake, the week is a little longer than usual, maybe, but just a different kind of week because most of it was audio. But what were your thoughts about the week?
I think you said right there, different, because we did audio. It's funny because some people made comments regarding, "Oh, you're not moving," or someone said, "Oh, I don't see your lips moving." But of course, they knew it was audio. They're just having fun with it. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out a word for the weekend, and I would say my word, and you just mentioned it, different, different but good. There you go. That would be it.
We're going to continue to try to do audio, but in a different form. So I'm working on that
A
right
little
now, and
experimenting right now. Yeah.
so we'll hopefully make it more intentionally audio in some ways so that the experience can be more seamless. I think when people engage in the podcast, they can just hear it and turn it, they don't have to watch us if they can't. So we started off the week with Jesus Roman. What were your thoughts?
Jesus is multi-talented, and he's a younger teacher. When I say younger, he's younger than us. He's been there for, I think, the New Village Girls Academy for at least about 10, 12 years, right, Ruben? I think he's been there for quite a while. Um, but what blew me away about him is that he knows a little bit about a lot of things, but he brought in his experience in coding, in mathematics. I think he also thing that blew kind of lit my eyes up is that he was interested in financial literacy, and he teaches courses on that, helping kids with finances, and even talking to them about like stock market and how to open up a checking account. So these are things that I think, wow, I've been doing a little bit of that, but it was kind of refreshing to know other people are doing that. And I actually think, and you would agree, that this should be taught in all schools, the financial literacy piece. So that was kind of fun to talk to him about that. And then just even him, I know we're probably going to do an episode on this, on the advisory piece to that program, right? And just him helping kids with their social emotional, being there for them. But you could see that he's still connected to these students years later, because he's following them like in colleges and then seeing that what they're doing. They're doing some fantastic things. A lot of them in the coding, computers and electronics and engineering and all that. And it's because of him. I think if that school did not have him, these kids wouldn't be going in that direction. So he's a special guy, and I'm glad we had him on. It was a lot of fun.
Well, yes, he is involved in this idea of interest-based learning, big picture learning. Other
Mm-hmm.
teachers do that as well, though. He isn't the only one, but he's now a vet, one of the veterans there.
Sure.
And when I left, he was one of the new ones. So this idea of asking students their interest through surveys,
Mm-hmm.
aligning the curriculum around that a little bit.
Right.
And so you really get some buy-in from students who typically do not see the relevance of school. That's the advantage of the big picture model. And if you could probably tell a bit, he's such a warm person. So his personality invites it very nicely. It sort of seamlessly works through that program because they're all about building community, a community of learners through each advisory. So really good. Check out that episode. By the way, we listed our top 5 players of all time. And did you know between the 3 of us, not one of us mentioned Kobe?
Wow, was that right?
Is he on your list?
No, but
he wasn't
that's
on
crazy.
Jesus's list, or
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think he belongs in the top 5.
I don't either. Yeah.
But
We're gonna
I
get
just
some
think it's
mail
interesting. I think it's interesting because 3 people in LA, NBA fans, if you sit them around, one of them is going to say Kobe, if not all 3. But I know my students would be offended if they saw that episode.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my students, big Kobe fans, and God rest his soul.
Yes.
Next,
Great player.
we had Jacob Gerhart, and
the 2 Jakes.
The 2 Jakes were in the house. What do you think?
Oh, he's such a neat guy. And last time I saw him was years ago. We went to a baseball game together, and he's a big Phillies fan, big sports guy, and we talked about that a little bit. But what I liked about Jake is that I don't know. I guess I was just kind of blown away that he came from Philadelphia to really work at a school like this. It was it's called the Academy, not the Academy, but
Aviva,
Aviva.
Aviva High
Yeah, I'm
School.
sorry, Aviva, and it seemed like he knew exactly what he was doing. And he also brings in a lot of giftings. He's a great writer, right? He wrote a book, and but what I thought was kind of cool was that he took the kids out to in his world where he likes to like bird watch, right? And they got to experience that. So it just tells me that, man, a lot of these teachers that we've had on the last few months, they bring in so much to the classroom. We've had some really special people, and he's one of them, where he's able to take the kids into his world, and then let them know, hey, this is something that I'm interested in. And I'm sure a lot of kids were thinking, this is what's going on here. But then there's a
Yeah.
few who would probably said, oh, wow, this is kind of cool, right?
So just to contrast that for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
there are teachers who feel that I need to teach around what they know. So I'm going to teach certain lyricists from certain
Yeah.
musical genres or certain, I'm going to just reinforce what they already know, as opposed to introducing them to something completely different, like bird watching, taking them out in the woods and showing them different birds that are, um, that are local, different species. But someone like him would counter with, no, I'm going to bring in Perry Como. We're going to look at the lyrics from,
That's great.
jazz, just different things.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he has he's talk about building community. His class was all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say that in terms of books, he mentioned A Tree in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, and the talented Mr. Ripley, Patricia Highsmith. She is excellent.
Ruben, I ordered
Really,
those books this week. They're
which
coming.
books?
Both of them, The Tree Grows in
Oh,
Brooklyn and The Talented Mr. Ripley. I can't wait to read them. It's in my summer reading already. So sorry to interrupt you, but I'm excited.
that's a really good one. And
Mhm.
she also wrote Strangers on a Train, but she has a bunch of great titles. One of the best in that genre, like kind of thriller, crime, but really elevated stuff. Okay, then we talked about the movie, Critical Thinking.
Wow. It was a first. It happened, and you didn't think it would happen, Ruben, but it happened. Where there's a movie that you liked and I didn't like,
Right.
and it's not, I didn't hate it. Of course, I like the actor John Leguizamo. I don't like the directing in this film. I didn't like. I just felt like things were loose at the end, like it wasn't totally, But maybe that was his point, So to give him that, I did like the actors. I did like the story, as in this was a true story about these chess players, these Latino and African American chess players in Florida, and how they just band together and did some wonderful things. And this teacher was their guide. And so he was a lot of fun. And so looking at that film, I don't think there's anything John Leguizamo has done that I don't like, except this film in a way, but I was rooting for him. Of course, I was rooting for the kids. But it was, it wasn't the film I would wanted it to be, but there were some elements that I took out of it and I enjoyed. So there you go.
While I agree that there was a loose end
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the film,
Right.
it they didn't tie it up as neatly as they could have. Overall, there was a lot to like about it, and at the center of it was John Leguizamo's performance. It was very human, very sympathetic to students, but also challenging them. I really related to him and those kids. So
I like what you said
kudos.
in the video, though. You're just like, he kind of looks like us, at the end of the day. And
No,
looking
at the
back
end
at
of
it,
the year,
or at the end of the year, we're all worn out and his shirt sticking out, or it's like, yeah, you're
he
right.
looked like a teacher. He
Yeah, he looked
worked to
teacher.
look like not like a Hollywood star
Yeah,
acting as a teacher, right?
right.
So,
That was good.
and then we go to the final episode of the week, which was on what items in a classroom are going away post-COVID.
Yeah. I shared three things. No more breakfast in the classroom, right? No more meetings. No more textbooks.
Right. What since that time though? What
No, I
what
wasn't. I was.
can you clarify or what?
Yeah, I was going to tell you my reflection on it. So after thinking about it, people have kind of commented regarding the books and pencils and the textbook. I mean, people, not every teacher right now is into technology, or even after this year, I think they're better at it. I think most teachers are better at it. But I think looking back at it, Ruben, I realize that, yeah, some teachers are still going to have struggles with some of this the technology piece. So it might be difficult. They might still want to get the textbooks. They still might want to use a pencil and paper. So yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe at least I grew, and I say, okay, not that I didn't grow. I mean, that's the best word. I choose to go ahead and continue with the technology piece and go forward in that area. And if others don't, that's fine. I'm sure they will either decide later on to do it or maybe not. And there still could be effective teachers. I'm sure they will be very effective.
I guess my only answer to that was sure. I suppose teachers are going to keep doing their thing,
Yeah,
whatever they're comfortable with. But I think it's good to reflect on what students are doing in other classes. What is more efficient? What has been improved? Obviously, you're not going to change just for the sake of change.
sure.
But when I see a stack of papers, like I did before the shutdown, on a teacher's desk, like a big stack of papers to correct, to me, it made no sense, especially now post-COVID when you can. So here's another thing I didn't mention, although it's self-evident if you have Google Classroom, but you can, with a few clicks of the button, you can correct papers. There is no papers to hand back and to get out a red marker and stuff. It's probably not even so great to get out a red marker and mark up a paper, in the sense that the feedback feature in Google Classroom feels a little bit more human. Weirdly enough, feels more human, feels a little bit more nicer, because you're commenting on things that are useful. Perhaps they don't just see these red slashes. And the other thing is Mote, MOTE. Are you familiar with that?
I thought someone brought that up in one of the episodes. I've heard it
Maybe.
because of
One of the episodes? What do you mean one of the episodes?
They brought up Mote, but I don't know what that is.
Oh, one of the interviews.
Interviews,
Sorry.
yeah.
I thought, yeah, maybe. And then basically it's a feedback app where you just click on record and you record yourself giving the students feedback. So
okay.
There's just so many, to me, better ways of handling business that can reduce some of the stress prior to the class, setting up the classroom a certain way. If you put it all on Google Doc or Google Class, then I know you use Schoology, but
yeah, our school does. Our
but
district.
Schoology is similar. It's like you set it up
is.
already on the classroom, and they could get started. Easy to work with subs,
Yeah.
Like if you're out a lot, or if you're going to be out, it's like the kids know what to do, but here's the link, here's all the information. So instead of sit out and writing a whole list of things, putting it on the agenda on the whiteboard, not even sure if they're going to see it, all kinds of stuff, I think could be improved upon through these technological inventions.
Yeah. And I mean, and like you said, people may choose not to, do that, but it's so hard not to go forward. You know what I'm saying? In technology wise, but I don't know.
Yep. So we hope you enjoyed the week. We do want to say that, we started this podcast pretty much at the beginning of this semester, right?
Yes,
I mean, to the audience, it doesn't look like that. It looked like it started in mid-February, but we actually started it early on of the year.
Early January. Yeah.
And so we've been going at it pretty consistently, and the school year is about to end. So what better time than now for us to say, hey, maybe we should take a little break. We should have a little bit of a end of the school year kind of vacation. So let's do that. Let's make this the last episode of the season, and maybe we'll see them in sometime in July.
Great. And we have some great guests coming up. We already have them booked, and we're going to have some fun times coming up, people.
Yes, be a part of it. Comment down below if you saw a particular episode that you liked this week, and I'll see you next time, everybody. See you next year or next season.
Next season or
Bye bye.
semester or whatever. Okay.